Today's lesson will talk about thirds as decimal numbers and percentages. Let's have a look at 1/3. If I were to punch in on the calculator 1 divided by 3, I would get 0.3333333 and it would keep repeating. So the decimal number for 1/3 is 3/10 with the little bar on top of it, so the bar notation on top of it, which means repeating. So it will go on and on. If I were to write that like a percentage, 1/3 is the same thing as 33 3/10, repeating percent. Again, we have to have that little bar notation to represent that. Now if I look at 2/3, that's the same thing as 6/10 repeating. So if I were to type in 2 divided by 3 on a calculator, I would get 0.6666666 and it would keep repeating. So again, I use that bar notation to represent that. If I were to write that like a percent, it would be 66 6/10, repeating percent. Now let's have a look at this in action. If I wanted to find 1/3 of 12, I'd simply have to think of 12 as thirds. So 4, 4, and 4. So if I divide 12 into 3 parts, each part is worth 4. So 1/3 of 12 is just 4. If I were to look at 1/3 or 33 3/10 repeating percent of 24, I would simply have to think of it as 1/3. So I would divide 24 into 3 parts, and I know each one of those parts is equal to 8. If I wanted to find 66 6/10 repeating percent of 24, I know that's the same as 2/3. And again, if I were to chop 24 into 3 pieces, each piece is worth 8 because 8, 8, and 8 make 24. If I took 2 of those 8 pieces, my answer becomes 16. Now if I were to find 1/3 of 10, it doesn't work out perfectly, but it's the same as 33 3/10 repeating percent of 10, and my answer is 3 3/10 repeating. Notice a little bar across there. If I just put 3/10, that would not be the right answer. You have to have that bar to show that a number keeps going on and on and on. If I were to find 66 6/10 repeating percent of 10, the answer would be 6 6/10, again with the bar repeating. If I were to find 33 1/3 or 33 3/10 repeating percent of 100, the answer is 33 3/10 repeating, or 33 1/3. These are both equivalent. If I were to find 33 3/10 repeating percent of 1,000, my answer would be 333 3/10 repeating. And if you were to think of this, you could also think of it as 33 1/3. And if I were to multiply this number by 3, I'd have 999, and then 3 times 1/3 is 1, so then that gives me 1/3 or 33 3/10 repeating percent of 1,000.